Assassin's Creed Mirage, in my view, is one of the best Assassin's Creed games that we've had in a very long time, and today Ubisoft Bordeaux have gone that one step further in the right direction, proving that they are still one of the best Assassin's Creed development team in Ubisoft. Along with a brand new update, players are now able to jump back into Assassin's Creed Mirage and experience almost an entirely new feeling game, with the parkour and movements around the map being refined and made much smoother, with new animations and overall improvements also being made. But ladies and gentlemen, that isn't why we're here today. They've got an extra step in the right direction here, and they've went and added an additional 6 hours worth of story content to this game. Now obviously this isn't a full campaign story, but this is a little side mission or a little side story from Basim that you can essentially go into and play alongside the main 20+ hour story, and it's fantastic and very welcomed. I wish so many other developers did this too. Shadows, albeit, wasn't awful, it just wasn't the Assassin's Creed game that I was waiting for. Mirage, on the other hand, is everything that previously bloated Assassin's Creed games just couldn't achieve, and jumping back into it has felt great. For a full list of changes in this update, click the link below and read Ubisoft's article, and if you haven't watched the full story explain video I did like 2 years ago, click on the card on the screen right now to go directly to that video. But before we jump in, a massive thank you to Ubisoft for providing me access to this game to do this video, and they've also given me a spare copy of Assassin's Creed Mirage for PC. So if you guys are on PC and you want a free copy of this game, you can do so by watching this video. The code will be displayed at a random time in this video, so make sure you obviously stick around for the video to wait for that code to pop up, and then you can put it in on your Ubisoft launcher and you'll have the game to play in its entirety with the new update and the story itself. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive straight into the storyline of Assassin's Creed Mirage, Valley of Memory. First of all, well, how do you access this DLC story? To begin with, the Valley of Memory questline, players need to have started the Head of the Snake mission in the base game. Players can also choose to skip ahead in the story directly from the main menu when you start a new game as well. Speaking with Dervis to begin your journey is the only way to the Valley of Memory, so you have to find him. Essentially, what I did is I went onto the map and I found Dervis's symbol, which is essentially something like this hand thing. You essentially find artifacts for him throughout the game and then you deliver them directly here. I just found this, went straight to him, and then I went into the house and it took me straight into the cutscene, so maybe try that too if you're struggling. The story begins with Basim walking into the house with a warm welcome from Dervish. Dervish quickly ran to his bookshelf to hand Basim something. A merchant had passed through Baghdad in recent days and he was carrying this painting. It reminded Dervish a lot of Basim's brooch. Dervish asks Basim if he thinks his father had painted it, as it was very similar in terms of art style. The merchant said he'd brought the painting in a place called Alula from a notorious peddler of stolen goods. This, however, got Basim thinking. His father would always read him stories as a child, stories of an ancient land and its mysterious monuments. He said they would go there together one day when he was old enough to make the journey, but of course that never happened. Basim hadn't seen his father in many years, not since the day he was exiled by the Khalifa, the day he left Basim behind. Basim, however, jumped straight to the point. What if his father was still alive? He must travel to Alula at once. Dervish, skeptical of Basim's thoughts, understands why he needs to make this journey, especially as a so-called father figure to Basim. He agrees to accompany him on these travels, and Dervish knows the place very well, after previously travelling there to conduct business in the past. Therefore, the two of them gear up and set on their way to Alula.
I am ready.
Basim and Dervish reach their destination, Alula. Basim is nervous, thinking he might just be confronted with a gravestone rather than his father in person. Therefore, the first thing they do is catch up on some well-deserved sleep and head straight to the cemetery the first thing in the morning. Basim covers the entire cemetery, not finding his father's name on a single stone, which is good news. However, as Basim was searching, he heard Enkidu, his eagle, disrupt a lady mourning over her late husband. Her name was Hind. She's been here for a long time. She's tired, she's drained. Basim escorts her home, learning more about this place and her. Her husband's passing was only 3 days ago, but he was ill for a very long time. She has 2 boys, both young, and her boys are staying with relatives until she's better. She's not in a fit state to take care of them right now. Basim tried to relate to her, share her grief with her, and show her another perspective on things. His mother dying young, father abandoning him. However, she notices that a bunch of bandits were invading her home and husband's warehouse. He was an artist. He would paint and have valuables in a warehouse, and these bandits came to steal it. Basim helps Hind by retrieving this portrait that her late husband had painted, and it was of him, and returned it to her. It's here that we learn more about these criminals. There's always been some form of lawlessness in Alula. However, recently it grows more. Now they strike whenever they please, and when the Khalifa's men try to intervene, it doesn't end well for them. This means they don't really get involved anymore, so this group can kind of just do whatever they want anytime. Basim warns Hind, tells her to go and hide, get away from here before they potentially kill this woman. We escort Hind to someone's home named Nimlot. He's a merchant nearby, very generous and most importantly trustworthy. We escort Hind there, and on the way we learn more. The name of the man behind all of this is Abyss. This name goes by the meaning of the one who frowns. He grew up here, but he was always trouble, and now he's causing chaos here. Basim hands Hind over to Nimlot, and they get talking. He calls us one of them, referring to the Creed, of course. He's aware of our kind. He initially was hesitant of us being here, thinking we're here to seek bloodshed. However, Basim assures Nimlot that this isn't the case. But how does he know of Basim's people? In Baghdad, a soap mill owner was rumoured to be something more than just that, something much darker. Nimlot was in the city that day. He's seen the aftermath. Throat slit, body hanging. This was Basim, killing a man named Al-Ghul. The man he was speaking about was Masoud al-Yaqub. It was a righteous kill. It was one that he needed to do. He was a monster. However, Basim could tell that Nimlot was conscious of him being here, so he just came out straight out with it. He told him his name, and that he came here in search of his father. Nimlot responds, saying the name of his father seemed familiar, but he doesn't know him personally. Nimlot pointed Basim towards the markets, telling him to start there. If someone knows of his father, it's there. However, before we leave, Nimlot mentioned something to remember. He lost a loved one recently, and he would do anything to be reunited with them again. That is a big point. Remember that going forward. Basim, however, reaches the markets and speaks to the merchants nearby. He tries to get on her good sides and learn more around what's going on here. The merchant mentions that the path behind her leads to the black heart of this market. This is exactly what Basim needed. His robes matched the one of the guard that he killed earlier. So Basim followed this robber, even pickpocketing him a little bit further on down the line, finding a list of hidden spots where the robbers keep their weapons. However, just as he cornered the robber, he was surrounded by guards and knocked out. Basim awoke a short time later in a prison, being dragged by two guards, falling in and out of consciousness, being greeted by the prison master, and they all walked off. Basim needed out of this prison fast. Dervish is on his own. If these guards find out that he's with him, well, they're not going to go easy. He begins to search his cell for any ways out, gathering information. It turns out the prison master works for the Abyss. It's here in this prison that he will create a poison that if it gets into the bloodstream, it leaves the prisoners dazed, almost as if they're drunk. Basim sleeps and awakes the next morning, talking more to his prison cell neighbour. He asks if he knows his father just out of interest. And what do you know? He does. Apparently he claims to be the Caliph's architect, and he dwells in the Oasis, the house with the blue door, he says. In Alula, everyone knows everyone. It's a very small community. Basim, however, to get out of the cell, is able to reach his eagle, who retrieved the cell key for him, allowing him to escape. Basim was able to get out of there, but before he left the prison, one of the guard's blades were laced with this poison, and it caught him. He was in a really rough state, but he was able to only just escape the prison. However, Basim's next target was Abyss. He wanted answers to know where his father was taken, but he didn't get anything out of him. Basim passed out in the middle of a field, but was saved by Dervish, nursed back to health, but he was out for a long time.
Drink.
Basim finally buckles up the strength to stand and walks outside to Dervish. He was warned by Nimlot about their traps. It was a very near escape. However, Basim had the information he needed to find out where his father's house was. And it was in there that he found a bunch of things, giving him flashbacks. One being a toy car, the second being a games board, one they played on the final night before he left, and a flashback of a book full of stories. However, as he was searching in the house, in came a bunch of guards. It was here that we heard mutters of where they took Basim's father, and it was a camp up north. Basim is able to use this lead to find out more. These bandits use symbols to communicate, to get around. This is something he was able to look out for, and use to gain access to a larger camp in the desert later on. However, on search for more information, he came across a guard, one that helped actually capture his father, but one that was subsequently captured himself for doing something he wasn't supposed to. He agreed to give us information for one thing, his freedom. Basim questioned him about the Abyss, and the guard, well, just laughed. He was never the true chief. He answered to Nimlot. Nimlot is the commander? He provides Basim with a map. This map was marked with his father's location, which was Nimlot's hideout, the big base up north. Basim also took this whistle, which is the one way that he could get into this larger base, set the guard free, and off he went.
Now, to gain entry, I must give the signal.
Basim infiltrated this large compound and eventually found an old man being interrogated by a guard. He took out the guard and questioned the old man that was being held captive, asking for the location of Nimlot, in which he provided. As Basim entered the door, there he was.
Basim, you have come at last.
Where is my father?
Where is my father? I could ask the same of you.
What are you blathering on about? You think you can use my father as a hostage to save your own life?
That was never the plan.
Then what?
To watch you suffer as I slowly slit the old pig's throat.
Why involve him? Your fight is with me.
Indeed! You truly have no idea, do you? Let me demystify it for you. A father for a father.
Your father?
What was it you called him? Al-Ghul?
You are his son.
Was, Basim. I was his son.
Killing Al-Ghul was an act of justice.
Ah, yes. The Hidden Ones and their moral high ground. You believe so fiercely in your spotless justice. But what of his Haq ibn Khalid? You only know him as a memory. And yet here you are, ready to kill anyone standing in your way.
Your father was a monster.
Your kind never pause to consider the consequence of your deeds, do you? You think of justice as an end in itself, yet justice is consequence.
Where is my father?
As I said, you will kill anyone standing in your way. I stand in your way.
Father.
I know exactly what you're thinking. Can you reach me before I reach him? Of course, if my dagger parts his flesh, even as yours parts mine, for me, it will be worth it.
Speak your final words.
Some months ago, after many years away, I returned home to Baghdad to see my father one last time. But as we were merely starting to rekindle our ties, you stole that from me. A chance to show him I had made something of myself.
Your father deserved death. You deserve death.
Who are you to decree a man's death, Basim ibn Ishaq?
Father. Father.
Are you looking for your father, young man? I do not think he is here. I do not like this place. I must go.
Now, it was here that it became very apparent to Basim that his father didn't have any idea who he was. He was confused.
You do not smile much, young man. That thing. Where did you get it?
In Samara.
Why has Samara changed so much? It is very dark. I do not like it.
What do you remember of Samara? Of home?
I have lived here all my life. But now, the Khalifa says that I must go to another place. No coming back.
And what of your son?
Yes. Basim. That is his name. He is my son. My boy must not suffer for my failure. The journey I must take, the dangers, the shame. He will not taste them. They are mine. Alone. My son, he has a future. I have none.
Why not tell him this?
He is too young. He cannot understand. I must do something.
Sit. What must you do?
I will see the sunrise one more time before I leave Samara. There is a tomb out there, like the ones in Alula. I never had the chance to witness the monuments of that land. Only what I have read. Stories.
My father once read those same stories to me. Do you want to see the sunrise from near the tomb? It will be just like Alula. I can take you there. We will go together.
Good.
لكن الطبيعة تهمس بسرائر والسرائر مصيرها.
However, Basim spent some well-needed time with his father, and the two of them, really without knowing, bonded like Basim always wanted. Basim got the closure that he needed. He was able to meet his father, meet him as an adult, bond with him, reminisce on memories that his father didn't know they had together, spend time with him before he crossed over to the other side.
Do you remember your wife?
Wife? I have no wife. Not since Basim's mother.
Tell me about her. Who was she?
I once saw a young woman in the bazaar. Brought here from across the sea. From a land far to the north, they said. Such a delicate beauty. Eyes like the bluest sky in winter. And her smile. Basim inherited my looks. But the way he smiles, that belongs to his mother. She left this world too soon. Taken by a sickness before she could see more of it.
What was her name?
I cannot recall. It is gone.
After you left Samara, where did you journey?
I have not left Samara. I am here even now. Though that time draws to an end.
Then, where do you wish to go?
I would dearly love to behold the great mosque of Cordoba in Al-Andalus. And one day, the ancient marvels of Alula. They say those wonders are unsurpassed.
My father spoke of Qubbat al-Sakhra, that sacred dome in Al-Quds.
Ah, yes. It would be a sight. Yet for grandeur, surely nothing compares to Al-Ahram, the great pyramids of Masr.
Imagine scaling their heights and gazing out over endless sands.
Truly, none have dared such a feat.
Of all the cities, Constantinople is the one I feel drawn to most. Though, I cannot understand why.
Yes, home to Hagia Sophia. They say she is the grandest and loveliest of all Kenisa. How I wish I could behold her beauty. But my time is much too brief.
One day, I shall journey to Constantinople, and you will be with me in my heart.
What is that you say? Your heart?
Ah, it is nothing. Look, we are nearly at the tomb.
I wish my son could see this. Basim. The one who smiles. He is a good boy. He will grow into a fine man one day. It is time. I must go. I will not be coming back. Tell my little Basim. Tell him one day, when his time comes, we will be together again. Until then, he has a life to live. Tell him that. If you see him.
I will tell him.
So, you have a smile after all.
Well, did you find him?
A mere echo of the man I once knew. Time has wrought its changes. Yet, my heart remains thankful.
I do not understand.
I have faced my past, Derwish. Few get that chance. Now, I must look toward the future. Toward the man I am destined to become.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of Assassin's Creed Mirage's DLC, Valley of Memory. For a 3 DLC, giving you 6 hours extra game time with all of the side missions as well. In an already brilliant game, deep diving into Basim's lore even further, top marks, I literally cannot fault it. Not many other games or developers would do anything like this, and they would charge you for it or put it on the back of a season pass. So the fact that this is completely free, hands off, and well done. I mean, not even just the DLC, but also completely redefining how the game works, how it feels. Really, really impressive, and Ubisoft Bordeaux, a massive round of applause for you. If you guys made it this far into the video, comment Basim down below, and of course, if you've redeemed the code, let me know in the comments down below if you were the one that got it. Thank you again to Ubisoft for providing me with this gift. I really appreciate it. Leave a like if you guys did go on to enjoy this video. Subscribe if you guys are brand new as well to the channel. Go and check out the previous full story explained for this video as well, or this game as well, which we did a few years ago. It goes into the entire story step by step. But without further ado, guys, we'll see you all next time.